Hey, what's going on, working class hustlers of America and all across the globe? It's your main man, La Machine, once again with some valuable content for you guys. You're going to want to pay attention because, as you've noticed here, I have been focusing more and more on exposing you to new ways to make money. And it's so important, guys. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You talk to anybody who's built any real amount of wealth, and they're going to tell you you need to have multiple streams of income. But if no one's presenting that to you, there's no way you're going to get the exposure that you need. So I can't just talk about what I'm doing on Amazon and things of that nature. That's all well and good. We've been doing that since 2017, but we need to get new people. We need new ideas, new thinking. And this is for your benefit. So pay attention because we're going to bring on a very special guest. I'm so excited to have Mr. Felix Wisniewski from Giant Lifestyle. How you doing today, bro?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited to share this business that I've been doing for almost 10 years with your audience and people that are watching this video.
Thank you so much, man. Again, I cannot tell you. I've been following you for years, man, and your content is just raw. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah,
mess
yeah.
around. It's nothing polished. It's nothing practiced or rehearsed. You just boom, give them the content just like it is. And I can tell the working class hustlers from my experience, the methods that he teaches actually work. What I'm saying is, I've actually purchased some of his courses, and I can tell you guys right off the bat, he is the real deal. But a lot of the working class hustlers may not know who you are. So real quick, can you kind of let them know who you are and how long you've been? Are you first of all, are you self-employed?
Yeah, I've been self-employed since my last job was actually almost 10 years ago. I got fired from my last job July 4th, 2014. And I've always been a hustler. I've always had that entrepreneur spirit in my blood. And there's nothing wrong with working the job. Sometimes it's good. People are better like working the job and having a side hustle that brings in 2 to 3K a month. But me, I just never was able to have a job. I was always either getting fired or my mind was just wandering during the working days or the working hours. So I just try to make real raw content that can relate with people than, trying to make it seem like I'm some, media personality that's better than everybody. I want to, show you what I did to take me from A to Z. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. And if you want me to give you a little introduction and background of like, as
Absolutely.
far
Yeah,
as where I started to how I
tell the
got to
working
where I'm
class
at,
hustlers.
I mean,
Yeah,
basically, it's kind of, I'll just kind of say it's, in a fast version. I read the
yeah.
book Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2013. I was in university. I immediately had like an epiphany. I'm like, where was this information all my years of school? I immediately dropped out, got started in real estate. But everybody knows real estate is good and it's still a vehicle that I use to build long term wealth now, but it's a slow game. So, in the mix of a real estate deal, I figured out how to buy and resell diabetic medical commodities, also known as diabetic testing supplies. I put the real estate on hold. I ended up making my first six figures at the age of 21 from that, from the buying and reselling of the supplies. And then I was like, okay, now I have some capital. Now I have some leverage. Now I have some breathing room. Because in real estate, you might get a deal. You might wait 3 months. You might get another deal. You might wait 6 months. You might get another deal. You might wait 3 months. A deal might fall through. So while I have this to sustain me, then I can get back into real estate. And from there, I've been able to buy multiple properties. I have multiple properties that I rent out. I've got involved with like transportation, a little bit of the trucking from like kind of like a silent investor. And using this business has kind of allowed me to be a silent investor in a bunch of different things. I have multiple YouTube channels, and I've built a few different internet businesses. I also do a little bit of stuff with the stock market, and really, this has just been like the foundation of my success. Because whether people want to admit it or not, you need money to make money. Anybody tells you you don't need money to make money is a lie. You need some sort of capital to push your idea, your product, your service. And buying and reselling the diabetic medical commodities, the diabetic testing supplies, has opened the blew the door wide open. And you have to understand how big this market is. We're catering to almost 40 million people inside of America. So 40 million people have the supplies that we're looking to buy and resell. So it's a massive market. So that's really how I've been doing it. I've been doing it since 2015. Made my first figures at 2016. Bought and resold a bunch of properties, held on to them, and been able to help my family financially. And that this business has really just set me up to be in a great position, and that's why I share the information, because I think there's enough to go around for everybody. Because most people won't take action anyway, but the few people that do will really understand how life changing it can be.
Wow, that's man, that is some powerful things you've just said. And that kind of brings me to something that I want you to present to my audience. So, working class hustlers, listen closely. You're talking about a young man. How old are you now? Felix.
I'm actually just turned 29, like about a month ago.
So yeah, you're talking about a young man that learned at a very young age how to get started. Excuse me, a little bit under the weather, hustlers, but this was too important. So that's why I didn't reschedule this. But I want you to talk to my audience, and hustlers, I want you to listen as I ask this question, because you sort of touched on some different things that you've done. Real estate. Of course, you're doing the medical commodities. I know from following you, you've had box trucks on the road. The question is, why do you think it's important to diversify? What would you say to the audience about having multiple streams of income?
Oh, I mean, sometimes stuff goes up and sometimes stuff goes down. It's the can't think of the word, but life goes up and down. There's a good book called The Dip by Seth Godin, and he basically says, like, you're going to go into a valley, and everybody is excited when the money's coming in, things are going good. But when you go in that valley, it could be really hard, not only mentally but financially. And there's been months, with every business, medical commodities business, some transportation. I invested into like a mom and pop shop, and I invested into some things. And some months there's things are going up, and then there's months where things are down. It's like a P&L. Like you'll have months where it's up, and then months where the profit and loss is down, or maybe you're in the negative. So if you only are relying on one income avenue, and when something is slow or something dries up, because everything goes up and down. There's no business that maybe unless you're Apple or Amazon, where you only have positive numbers. Every business has ups and downs, so it's good to have you're not to have all your eggs in one basket. Like, hey, I have all my eggs in this business or this job. A lot of people do it with a job, which is crazy, and they have put all their eggs in one basket. If something happens, when you get fired, you get sick, you can't go to work, or you get fired, then what happens? You either have no money coming in, or it could get dangerous. So even if you're a business owner and fully an entrepreneur, you should always have multiple income streams. So all your eggs aren't in one basket. I do think you should be focused on maybe one or two projects, not too many, and don't spread yourself too thin. But to put all your eggs in one basket, that's dangerous to me.
Man, I'm so glad you shared that with the audience, because that's why you're here. That is why I reached out to bring you on this show. I've been teaching people how to sell on Amazon and make money since 2017. Not good enough. Not good enough. I've been kicked off of Amazon. Now what? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, no, this is very, very important, because a lot of people that want to teach you how to make money, they want to present it in a way that's just not real. You just told us what we really needed to hear. Business has its ebb and flow. It's up and down. It's seasons, just like life. And anyone that's telling you otherwise is just a flat out lie. And that's okay when you hedge against those inevitables, if you will. You know what I mean? Having more than one way. And the reason I'm making this I'm beating on this is because my audience, we focus on selling on Amazon, but there's other ways to make money out here. And the way that you're going to present, I actually do it because it's really, really easy. But let's get into it for the working class hustlers. What is the medical commodity business?
Yeah, so in real simple terms, there's almost 40 million. I mean, the number fluctuates. 40 million people that have diabetes. Now, look, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lab physician. I don't know the inner workings of diabetes. I know it has to do with things with your blood sugar and your insulin levels and your body's ability to produce insulin. But I'm not a master at that. What I'm a master in is the oversupply that diabetics have of diabetic testing supplies. So basically, every month diabetics, for example. My father, you don't need to know any diabetics, but I'll just give you an example. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this video knows at least one diabetic, whether it's an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, mother, father, grandfather, maybe somebody you went to school with, somebody that has diabetes. It's so common. It's like 1 in 10 people, right? So they get an oversupply, right? So you ever go to the doctor and you need something and they'll give you, instead of a 90-day supply, they'll give you a 6-month supply, a 10-month supply. You need a week, you need some medication for a week, and they give you 3-month supply. It's the same thing like that. So they give you an oversupply of different diabetic testing supplies. We buy them, and then we have big name wholesalers / pharmacies that we resell them to, and they basically just get put back on the shelf. Like my father, he only needs like 4 or 5 boxes a month. He gets 15 every single month to his doorstep. And now he gives them to me because he knows what I do and how I have this business. Take them, I resell them, and me and him split the profit down the middle. But basically, it's diabetics who get extra supply, sometimes every month, sometimes every 2 months. I have one client in particular, and my business is fully automated. I don't do any of the day-to-day operations. I have basically 2 people running it. It's 2 of my childhood friends that aren't like too entrepreneurial, and I just pay them and they help me run it. But it's basically diabetics who get an extra supply of testing supplies, and we buy them and we resell them back to big name wholesalers or pharmacies that have like dedicated price sheets that say like, hey, for this box, if you bring me 1 box or you bring me 100 boxes, I'll pay you this much. So we're buying it for like 10 and 20 and $30 on the street from the customer, and then we're turning around and reselling it to the big name wholesaler / pharmacies for usually double, sometimes triple the price.
Let me tell you a short story, because I was watching your content for a good bit, and I wasn't on the fence because I know about diabetes. My family has a history of diabetes. I know I can really get into a lot of the technical things that are going on. I can explain diabetes, but I was getting ready to buy your course, and I said, well, you know what? Before I buy his course, let me prove to myself that this could really work. And it's like you said, you don't have to know a diabetic, but a lot of us do. So I went to my best friend who's a diabetic. I said, you got any extra strips you don't need? The answer is usually going to be yes. And it was. And I ended up buying them. And I said, well, let me see where I can flip them. Now, I'm an Amazon guy. So I turned around and I flipped them on Amazon. But the thing of it is, once I got your course, then I had access to real, buyers. Yeah. Because here's what happens if you want to sell it on eBay or you want to sell it on some other marketplace. Now you got to sell it to the end consumer. That's not the best way. I've found it so much better when you sell to a person that just buys in bulk. That type of customer is much easier to work with. I don't know if you have any experience flipping that way to where you would flip on a marketplace to an end consumer.
Sometimes I'll use eBay like from very time to time basis. If I have like a bunch of boxes that are damaged or dinged, they're about to expire, or like a brand that I don't typically buy. Because what we do, we only buy like 3 or 4 of the most popular brands. All the other stuff, we just pass on it. Now, if someone comes with like a brand like Prodigy, that's not really common. And it is common. Someone will say like, hey, I have 80 boxes of Prodigy. I'll buy them and I'll turf them on eBay. But dealing with eBay, it's not terrible, but you have to deal with rules, fees, limits, chargebacks. And there's a lot of problems you could deal with. With my buyer, I write them up an invoice, I send it to them. Sometimes they'll send me some money up front just to kind of liquidate me. And then I'll send the boxes off and I'll rinse and repeat. It's no, me sending a bunch of, you have to send pictures, but once you build a relationship, it's as easy as cutting bread, where I got the invoice, I send it off, they pay me, I ship the boxes.
And there's never any,
they wire their money.
Yeah, there's never any funny business. I mean, they for real, man. They are such a pleasure to deal with. And I'm kind of saying this to my working class hustlers because they're used to Amazon customers. Some of these guys sell on eBay, Walmart, and these customers, they can be a problem sometimes. It's just part of the business. We do it anyway, but I'm just telling you guys, if you get into this business, you're going to find it such a relief. It's going to be a welcomed reprieve from dealing with that end consumer that want to give you problems, returns, chargebacks, and all that other stuff. Um, so now we're gonna get to the part where I know the working class hustlers are really wanting to know. So just tell us like it is. How much money can you make doing this? A lot of it's going to depend on you. They know that because it's like with any business, you're going to get
Yeah.
what you put out. But what are some of the type of numbers that can be impressive that you've seen?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you real realistic numbers. Some people on the internet will kind of boast and inflate numbers. You'll see it all the time with different side hustles. Month one, Rolex. Month two, Lamborghini. Month three, mansions. This is not realistic. Month one, somewhere between 750 and 1500 in profit. Could be more, could be less. I had a student who made 5,000 his first month in profit, and like by month 3 or 4, he was making like 10, 15K. It's just not, you know, consistent numbers I see from someone just starting out. I consistently see somewhere between like 750 and 1500 month one. Month two, or by day 60, somewhere between 1500 and 2500. And then month three, or by day 90, somewhere between like 25 and like 3 or 2 and 3K. By month six, somewhere around steady 5K a month in profit. And then by a year in, there's no reason you can't be doing $10,000 a month in profit with this business. So that's just realistic. Like month 1 through 3, somewhere between like 1 and 3K per month in profit. By month six, about 5 to 6,000 a month in profit, and then by month 10, by month 12, in the year time, you should be doing around 10K per month in profit. Because the beautiful thing about this business is it's repeat customers. If I buy from you one time, not every time, but I would say it's about a 90% chance I'm going to buy from you again and again and again and again. I have clients I've been buying from since 2016, 2017, 2018. And, not every month, but every 2 months, every 3 months, every 45 days. So it's like you're just like stacking building blocks on top of each other. So those are realistic numbers of how much you can make. But like I said in the beginning, I make about, because I have so many things going, I make about steady 10K a month in profit from this. Definitely could be making more, but I have so many things going on. But even like in February, I think I did like 3K. It just tanked. Why? I don't know. Just no, but none of my clients had product. But then March it shot back up to like 12 or 13. So you will have up and down months, but that's why if you have this plus something else plus a job, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Felix. I bought your course. It was so easy to follow. You talking on there just like you talking now. And I'm gonna just be honest. Out of the gate, I was hyped. You know how you are when you first start something, right? I
Yeah.
was doing everything. I was, everything that you laid out, I was doing. And then my focus kind of moved, and that happens. But my point is this: even 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 as I have not been really pushing the business, I have about 5 repeat customers that just keep coming, and they just keep coming. Without me even pushing the business, I can do $300 to $500 a month, and I'm not even pushing the business. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I
of
totally
course, you know
understand.
that. Because once you get a customer, they really don't want to deal with a whole bunch of people. They want somebody that when they call, you showing up and you giving them that bread, and it's just that easy.
Yeah,
But
I know exactly. I have a client. Like I said, my business is ordered. I have two of my childhood friends that we work together on different projects. I kind of like push the ship forward, but they kind of do. They just want a paycheck. They're just my childhood friends that have been helping me for years, right? And I have one client in particular. I meet her usually 2 to 3 times a year. She won't meet them, but every time I have to go meet her, right?
mm,
So every time I meet her, she has at minimum 3K, 2 to 3K in product, but she won't meet. And I usually meet her about twice a year. I've been buying from her since 2017, and
mm-hmm.
she won't meet anybody else besides me. And she calls me. She'll give me like a month's in advance notice. Hey, next month on the 1st or on the 15th, I'm getting supplies. I meet her, and I always cash out. And she won't meet anybody else. I said, hey, you can meet my guy. No, I don't want to meet them. I want to meet you. And like you
Yeah.
said, they just want someone they could deal with that's consistent.
So that brings me to my next question, because I know a lot of the hustlers they got questions. What are some of the misconceptions when it comes to the business? I know it's legit, but people have questions. What are some of the misconceptions you've seen, working in the business, things that people think about it?
Like before they get started?
Like some people think, oh, is it legal, or
Oh, okay,
am I going to get beat up or robbed? This craziness.
Yeah. So as far as is it legal, it's 100% legal. These are over-the-counter products. You can go into any store, CVS, Walgreens, grocery stores with a pharmacy section and buy them over the counter. The reason that doesn't work is because they're already at full value and they've already gotten flipped like 3 or 4 times to get back on the shelf. So it's 100% legal. As far as Medicare and Medicaid products that will be on the box, like bought or purchased with, or this is a Medicare box, we don't buy those. But most of those boxes are very rare. I've only seen them in the almost 10 years I've been doing this, maybe 5, 6 times. They don't have any resale value, so it's not like you're going to be like tempted, like, should I sell this? Should I not sell it? So it's 100% legal. And plus, for us to be talking about something on the internet that's illegal would be idiotic. So, but it's a valid question because it's like you're kind of dealing with like pharmacy stuff, so you want to know, is it legal? But they're over the counter products.
Right.
As far as it dangerous, I've never been robbed. I've never been in any dangerous situations. Like, my buddy, a good friend of mine, he buys and resells electronics. He's told me nightmares of people almost robbing him because it's like, everybody knows that an iPhone, this thing holds value. This thing you could probably sell. If you find one of these on the street, these could sell for $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000. If I see a box of test strips on the street, the average person might just step on it. They don't know that thing has money. So it's like they see the test strip guy isn't doing anything. So as far as like the perceived value to the public that you might have, $600 in your pocket and $1,000 in strips on your passenger seat while you're driving around picking up boxes, and you don't need a car. So anybody thinking maybe I don't have a car, I can't do this business, you don't need a car. Obviously a car can help. But actually one of my most successful students to date started with no car. And so, yeah, just like the danger, it's not dangerous. You should always have your wits about you. If someone says like, hey, come meet me at this street at 3 a.m. and don't bring your phone, you should be like, wait, hold on, something isn't right here. And if they tell you like a bad neighborhood, don't do it. But as long as you use good judgment and, if you take a course or if you follow the game from someone who told you, you should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I just know I've heard people say stuff like that, and I know you have too, questioning the legalities and all of this kind of stuff because they don't know. But anybody that knows me, they know I'm a people person, so I just love people. It to me is quite interesting, and I've had people call me and say, "Hey, I got some strips for you, but I'm gonna need you to run me by the pharmacy." I'm the type of person that would do it.
Yeah.
But you
I've done
don't
it so
have
many
to
times.
do
I've picked
that.
them up and take them to the pharmacy, but you don't have to
And
do
then,
that. You don't even need a
and
car
then
to be honest. All you need is a phone.
Yeah, but then you do that, you got fresh product. So,
Oh yeah, you do that, you're good to go.
but Felix, you will find in this business very down to earth, just regular good people. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
100%.
But I mean, you have to put yourself in their position. Could you use an extra $50? Could you use an extra $100? I bet you could. So they're no different than you, and if they got a way to come up, they're gonna come up. So
Yeah.
honestly, what you're really doing in this business is significant because what you're doing is taking something. Think about the people that would just throw them strips in the garbage because it happens. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
all the
It,
time.
it happens and they don't even realize the value. Plus, getting that back out to someone who could use it. Another thing I want to tell you, the list that you provide, once you get to know these suppliers, you'd be surprised what they will take. You just have to ask them, hey, send them a picture.
Yeah.
There were products that I thought they wouldn't take that they would take. You don't know what they got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're very easy to deal with. They actually want to help you. So all I'm saying there is your list of suppliers is really, really good.
Well, list of buyers. I don't want to get that confused that people think that you got to go find the product. I tell you how to go find the product with the marketing, different like 9 or 10 different marketing strategies. And then I have like 7 or 8 buyers, maybe about 7 buyers in the back end. 6 to 8 buyers, just call it that. And these are like, some of them are like solo man companies, but some of them are actual big brands. And you got me, but you also got these people that, like you said, are very willing to help you. And if you got
Mhm.
questions, or if you got something like, hey, one of my clients has this, can you buy it? They'll be like, yeah, buy it, we buy it. So they're real easy to work. It's a simple business. Just the thing that holds a lot of people up is, one, it's so simple and it's such a simple concept that, just doing your first deal. Like, once you buy your first set of diabetic test strips, you better go get a money counter, because it's going to get crazy. But doing your first deal, like proving, just like anything, proving your first concept, getting that first Amazon sale, getting that first check from Amazon is like probably like a difficult thing. But once you see that it's real, it's like, all right, how can I take this to the next level? And with this could scale pretty quickly. So
Yeah,
once you are able to see that, the doors really open up.
I will tell you this, and I think you mentioned it either on one of your videos or in the course. You're gonna take your lumps, like with anything. It's like learning how to ride a bike. You might fall a couple times, you know, but I would advise anybody that's watching this, if you're gonna get into this, realize it's just like Amazon. You've got into a deal and then found out, hey, I made a mistake. That's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. So don't be discouraged, But I have screwed up a couple times. uh, just not paying attention, so excited, not looking. And then I would think back, man, he told me to watch out for this or that. But you learn. And
Mhm.
once you get it, then you're thinking clear. You know what I mean? And when you're
Mhm.
thinking clear, you're not nervous, you can process and pay attention to things. But I found that the business is very forgiving, actually. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
really take too many L's, even if you think you're gonna. And I'm not gonna get into the details of that, but I just
No,
wanted
I
to let the
agree.
hustlers know.
If you buy a box and you can't resell it, or for whatever reason, maybe it's expired or it's too damaged, or you bought the wrong box, your investment might be like 20, 30, 50, $100 max. It's not
Right.
like you're dumping like thousands of dollars. And you know what? It's
Exactly.
really, the hardest part is doing your first deal. Once you buy your first 10, 15 sets of boxes, that's probably about the hardest part. If you want, I would say show my other channel called Flipping Medical Commodities University, which
Okay.
is a
Or
channel all about buying and reselling. But this channel also has good information as well. But I have a separate channel called
Okay,
Flipping
so
Medical
this is
Commodities
his
University.
giant lifestyle channel. He mentioned his other. We'll pull that up. But what I wanted to kind of talk about was this image right here. And I found this just on your Facebook channel. Is that your dad?
Yeah, it's my father.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about what we're looking at in this image.
Yeah, I mean, this is my father. I paid my parents' house off. They had a mortgage with like crazy high interest, and they would actually still be paying on it. And it wasn't even that much, but I just wanted to pay it off for them because my parents didn't give me anything. They kind of just said like, hey, like, we'll give you a place to stay. Like, I didn't grow up in a terrible area. I grew up in a decent neighborhood, with definitely, a good opportunity at life. But my parents said, listen, you want something, go get a job. You want this, go work for it. You need to work for it. So, business, and I found success in business. So I figured, your parents are the reason you're in this world, and they take care of you, so it's right that you take care of them. So I just paid their house off, and they didn't know I was going to do it. I didn't tell them I was going to do it. I just said like, "Hey, here's a check," and well, no, I just paid it off and then gave them the receipt, and they were really excited and really happy because it took off like 1,000. They were saving like 1,000 a month because they don't have to pay their mortgage anymore.
That's beautiful. And I wanted to show the hustlers this because what this leads me into what I want to talk about next, which is so important. And following your channel, you've always been transparent. So the things that you're doing, you've never been a very flashy guy,
Yeah.
but you do live a pretty good life. And I know, shoot, easily for the past year or more, you haven't even lived stateside. Tell us a little bit about what the business has been able to provide for you in terms of where you live and how you live.
Yeah, so definitely in the beginning, I say with this business, you're gonna have to it's thundering out now. In the beginning, you definitely have to be boots on the ground because there's so many things that with any business, you're gonna have to set it up. But like I said, I have two like childhood friends that kind of like I said, they just work with me. They do not work for me; they work with me, and we break bread at the end of the month, and we kind of like a profit sharing deal. But yeah, I've been living overseas. I've lived a little bit in Europe. I've lived in South America. And I just found that the cost of living is literally like probably about a fourth or a fifth of what it costs in the States. And you can live really good for relatively cheap. And I'm not saying I'll never live in the States again because the States does have its advantages in certain senses with convenience and different things that are just easier to do. But kind of just like in the purpose of stacking as much money as you want as fast as possible, where your living expenses in the States, I think for anybody is probably pushing 4 to 5K a month. Could be wrong. But my living expenses here are less than 1,000. So it's very, very cheap. And that allows you to, build your business. And, I still go back to the States frequently. I was literally just there 3 days ago. But I do have a spot in the States and I have a spot here in South America as well. So, when you're making a bunch of money and you don't have to kick out 4 or 5K a month on living expenses, that allows you to reinvest in your business, that allows you to stack more money. Think about saving 4K a month, 5 months in a row. That's 20K right there. So
Right
it can
there.
really build up really quick. And that can allow you to stack, that can allow you to save, that can allow you to make other investments, that can allow you to reinvest into your current business. So yeah, I've been living overseas for about almost 2 years. It's definitely been over a year. But like I said, not saying I'll never live in the States again, but at this very moment, I plan to live in South America.
Wow. Now, working class hustlers. Now do you see? Now do you see why I brought him on this show? Now do you see? This is what it's all about. You got to be talking to people who have different ways of thinking, that have different ideas, views that you can glean from, that you can learn from. Now you see, this is the type of this is a guy that, what did he say? He got a spot overseas, he got a spot here. Would you like to have a spot in two countries? Well, you're going to have to start learning from people who have it. You understand? I'm bringing this guy in front of you because he can show you things that I can't. I've been showing you what I know since 2017. And if I don't expose you as well as myself to a different thinking, okay, the thinking that got me to where I'm at, the thinking that got you to where you are, does not possess the thinking to get you beyond that. So you have to surround yourself with the thinking that outthinks you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's here. So tell us, I think I said I want to let you guide me to I want to show them your other channel. Although we're gonna link it, guys, but I just kind of want to give you a view of it. So this is his giant lifestyle channel, and then you got a channel called Flipping
Medical
Medical.
commodities,
Got
right
it.
there. That channel right there.
Wait, is it this channel?
Yeah, yeah, it's that channel. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. We'll put that in the description, hustlers. But I just wanted to give you guys um, a peek at it so that you kind of knew what he was doing. Felix, tell us one more thing. And again, this is along the lines of getting us excited about the possibilities about what we could do when we add this business model to what we're already doing, right? Because we don't need to stop what we're doing. We sell on Amazon. We can keep doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but when we when we look at what you've been able to do, and like I said before, man, you're not gonna give us the mansion, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini. You never present it like that.
Yeah.
It's not that you couldn't have it. That's just not your thing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care for that, man. I just like living a low key, and I've done it a little bit. I've dabbled in that kind of lifestyle a bit, but I like a simplicity, low key life. And if you take two people, I think it's always better if you take two people and you see one guy with bling on and all these fancy designer clothes. I want to be the guy that has the basketball shorts, a pair of Nikes, a black tee, and maybe a little chain. And if you think that I got nothing, I like it. You always want to be like, count it out. You never want people to know your hand. So if you wear your wealth on you, which isn't a problem, you should kind of do it in a subtle way where nobody knows your next move, nobody can read you.
But what is it like going through life not having to worry about money, about finances?
It's
Because
a good feeling.
you know what it's like on the other side.
Yeah, well, people think that it's once you get over the hump of like having to worry about like how am I going to pay my rent, how am I going to do this? You still have worries. Like, okay, now I have this massive tax bill. Now I have this. Now I have employees. Now I take care of my mother. Now I have this. I have to keep this consistency. Like once you start doing 20, 30 a month, you can't drop that. Now you can because you got savings and you can accept a bad month. Like I said, in February, my month, as far as actually all my businesses in February just did terrible. I don't know why, it just did. And you can kind of withstand it because you have some reserve, but you have to keep a lot of things. So now I'm thinking like I have to make this much per day in this business. I have to make this much per day in this business. I have to continuously gain new clients, do new marketing, run new ads. So you still have worries. You just have different worries and different problems. A lot of people think like, oh, if I had X amount of money coming in per month, I would have no worries, no issues, and no thoughts. You have thoughts. You just have different levels of thoughts. I'm not thinking about like, I can't pay my light bill. Now I have, okay, the IRS wants 45K from me. So it's just different levels of thinking and problems that get put on your plate.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's an interesting, truth that you're laying on us that we need to hear, because you're right. A lot of us, we work, and I mean, we work our asses off to get to this fictional place that we think we're going to arrive at. You never really arrive.
It's always a journey. It's just a journey, and you just get bigger problems. The problems never go away. Like some of the problems that I have now, in a way, I feel like I wish I could go. I'm grateful for the process and where I'm at, and I'm super thankful. But the problems I had 6, 7 years ago or 8 years ago were like a sprinkle compared to what I have now. I have so many things going on and so many things that I have to maintain and keep up, and people trying to stop you and people trying to take you down and haters. It's if you're not mentally strong, and if you just why I tell people you should be reading like every single day. I'm reading and educating myself. I have another book. Where's my other book that I don't know what my other book. Oh, this book. This is actually I love this. One of my favorite authors, John C. Maxwell, and it's called The Power of Your Potential. And if you're not reading, training your mind, becoming better every single day, just to go from a basic position of like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur to step into my position, you might not be able to, you wouldn't be able to handle it because it's so many things going on that it would just be too much for you. That's why you got to build into the person you're going to become.
Wow. That's powerful, man. And I thank you for sharing that with us. Now, if we go to your channel, is this the link where if we wanted to register for the course, is this it right here?
No, what I'll do is I'll provide you the link and you can put it in the description, or you can put it somewhere where they can get access to it.
All right, I highly recommend it. But also, like I said, they can follow you on your channel here. They've got the Giant Lifestyle. I don't know. It's just a lot of places they can find you. We're going to put all of that in the description, but there's only one more thing, man. You got to promise me that you will return. You'll come back and continue to provide the hustlers with different ways to make money. You know other ways, and I'm going to get that out of you.
Yeah, man. I mean, with time, you build up a lot of knowledge and a lot of information, but depending on how the feedback is, and I assume will be great because if you got hustlers making moves with Amazon, this is one of the simplest concept businesses. I definitely tip my hat off to you for being able to build what you built on Amazon, and everybody who's built what they built from following you. But this, a toddler could do it. You put out some marketing. It's a simple concept. You put out some marketing, you make some calls, you buy the product, you sell it, you get paid. It's not rocket science. So yeah, man, just let me know how we can continue the information train, and I'll be glad to share it again with your audience.
Absolutely. And let me say one more thing since you brought that up. With Amazon, there are a lot of rules. There's just a lot going on. I can tell you from my personal experience, the medical commodities business is so simple. I mean, and you don't have anybody regulating, when you're on Amazon's platform, you're in their sandbox and they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, when you're in the medical commodities business, it's your thing.
Yeah.
You deal with the customers that you want to deal with
Yep.
and on your terms. And that's, you're gonna flip your product up to, whoever you dealing with, and it's just easy. You send them the product, they send you the money, and it's just that simple. So that's something that I think all of the hustlers could appreciate. But I ain't gonna keep you no longer, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I can't thank you enough. But like I said, we're gonna get you back. There's real estate, there's box trucks. We didn't even
Mm-hmm.
touch on investing, day trading. There's a lot that this guy does, hustlers. We gotta get him back here and continue to learn, because that's the only way we're gonna continue to grow. Any parting words, Felix?
No, that's it, man. Thank you so much for having me on the channel, and definitely looking to run it back with you to share more information.
All right, working class hustlers of America and all across the globe. Make sure you share this video. There's some people out there, people that that are looking for a quick way. And this one, I can actually tell you, it really is quick to get started. What was that, Felix?
I do have one thing. If you do want more information, check that link down in the description and check that channel out that I have, Flipping Medical Commodities University. Highly recommend you watch my videos and do due diligence. I'm not one of those guys that force it down your throat. If it sounds good, it looks good, and it makes sense, and you think it's a good fit, move forward. And I'd love to show you. I have a simple training, about 3 to 4 hours, that shows you everything, relatively affordable. So, but be sure to do your due diligence. Tap in with that first link. I have an explainer video and a bunch of videos that will really explain what this business is, how it works, and how you can do it.
And if you have any questions, hustlers, go ahead. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Leave a comment. A lot of the questions I can answer because I'm one of Felix's students, but if I can't, I can forward that up Felix himself and we can get that answered. Don't let anything stop you from doing this. The money is there, and I can attest to it. So with all that being said, make sure you like, make sure you give that thumbs up, leave some comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know how you feel about learning new ways to make money. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Thank you.